is already in camp ahead of their WAFCON preparation against Benin Republic this Thursday. We'll take you through that, of course. Moroccan under-20 national team. Yes, they did something magical. We'll take you through that as well because they'll be crowned champions of the under-20 World Cup. All this and many more is going to form the bulk of our conversation here this evening. And you know how we do it. I'll take a quick break when I'm back and introduce my guest. Then we get to talk about everything that happens and continue to happen in the world of sport this evening. Don't go anywhere because we'll be back in a jiffy. Welcome back from that short break. Here with me in the building this evening as we take a look at some of these interesting sporting gist that we have for you is Jerry Daniel. Jerry is looking very smashy this evening. Mr. Jerry, good evening and welcome to Sport Extra on Atlantic Television Network.
Thank you very much. Not as smashy as what Manchester United did to Liverpool yesterday, but actually a very good show, a very good performance put up by the United-based team, the Manchester-based team.
Definitely, we're going to talk about Manchester United and their game yesterday against Liverpool. But first off, let's start from the continent right here. As Nigeria's representative in the CAF Champions League, Remo Stars lost 5-1 to Mamelodi Sundowns of South Africa in the first leg of the second round of the competition. The match played on Sunday at the MKO Abiola Sport Complex in Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Saw the South Africans dominate play from the blast of the whistle till the end. Remo Stars will be hoping to overturn the deficit in a return leg to secure qualification. Jerry, it was a disappointing outing for Remo Stars, one of the best organized clubs right here in Nigeria. We thought maybe they are going to hold their own, especially playing at home. But then was a scandalous loss, 5-1 against a very strong, formidable Mamelodi Sundowns side. Is there any hope at all for them to go through, or you think this is where it ends for them?
Well, thank you very much. Remo Stars actually lined up against a very formidable side. We just saw Mamelodi Sundowns participate in the just concluded FIFA Club World Cup. Though they cashed out in the group stage, but they were able to make it into the group stages where they faced Borussia Dortmund and the likes of them. Remo Stars were actually crowned champion last season in the MPFL, which shows you that at least they can measure up with any team based in the continent. But at this point in time, disappointing results in the MKO or Abiola Stadium where they actually were trashed 5-1 by the South African-based team. 2 goals up in the first half going into the break, and coming back to the break we were able to have just 1 goal and they were able to put 5 past us. So it's really disappointing feat, and the question you ask, are we able to get back into the fray when we go to South Africa to play? It's going to be a very big one, big question mark, and that's really, really unlikely to happen. But we can't rule that out because this is the world of the round leather game. Shockers and impossibilities turn into possibilities anytime, anywhere. So at this point in time, I can actually say I'm giving it to Mamelodi Sundowns to go past Remo Stars again. But just like I said earlier, this is the round leather game. Shockers are bound to happen anytime, anywhere. But for me, Remo Stars is out of the fray.
End of the road for Remo Stars, but in football you can't rule out anything until the final whistle. But then, taking a look at it from the point of reality, it seems to be going to be a mountain hill, a Herculean task for Remo Stars to climb and see if they can be able to turn the 5 goals deficit away from home. If they couldn't do it at home, would they be able to do it away from home? That is the question. Beyond the scandalous loss of Remo Stars, Jerry, every time we keep talking about the fact that the Nigerian league is not up there compared to the likes of Egyptian league, the Algerian league, South African leagues. How are we going to do, or what must we do at least for we to get it right and at least be among the best league? Because the result of our club side here in the continent is a direct reflection of how our league is, isn't it?
Yes.
What must we do for we to change the narrative?
The quality of our league it has a very big question mark. Very, very big question mark. Because when you look at the Nigerian Professional Football League, it's not ranked there when it has to do with continental leagues. The South African League, the Moroccan League, the Egyptian League, the Algerian League, and a host of them. The quality is really, really lacking when it has to do with officiating, when it has to do with the quality of cameras, when it has to do with the quality of facility. All of these things are put into consideration. Recently, we saw an NPFL match where home fans attacked away fans, and they were fined for that. We never see this. In a seating capacity of 55,000, we never see this outside the shores of this continent. But coming back to Africa, and in Nigeria specifically, we'll see where seating capacity of just 3 to 10,000 people, and we're seeing home fans attacking away fans because of the fact that the referee's decision, the central referee's decision, did not go down well with them. So this is uncalled for. This brings retrogression. To a larger extent, it brings retrogression into the league. So the league is being, don't misquote me, the league is being viewed by all and sundry. There's someone seated in Cambodia, there's someone seated in Canada, there's someone seated even in the continent of Africa, saying, I want to follow the Nigerian league because of Nigeria. And that person is seeing this shambolic display by our fans, home fans, by the central referee. Come on. Retrogression sets in automatically. So at this point in time, we need to leverage on all of these sectors, all of these departments, not just improve, try to make sure that we go above the ground norm of just making things good, to making things better, in order for us to have a voice in Africa. That's one of the few things that are drawing us back. I use the South African League as an example. I use the Egyptian League as an example. The Tunisian League is an example. When you view these leagues, we are in the age of technology. You can view them via a streaming platform. You would see that these leagues actually meet up the required standard. And it's commensurate to what we see in Spain, to what we see in England, to what we see in Canada, to even what we see in Saudi Arabia. So come on, let's make sure that every department in the Nigerian Professional Football League is being taken care of, going past the normal 50%, above into 80 to 100%. Nobody says we can't get there. We can get there if we consciously try to improve. So for me, we just need to improve on all field and in all departments when it has to do with the NPFL.
I tell you one thing for sure, a lot of improvement needs to be done in the Nigerian Premier Football League for we to get it right. And of course, I live above board because the league is gradually losing its reputation. We are seeing, other countries beginning to live above board. And of course, we are trying to play the catch-up. Is it not surprising? It is only Rivers United that is the highest ranked club side in Nigeria, seated 24th in Africa. It is very, very embarrassing for a nation that claims to be a giant of Africa, a nation that we say we are a footballing nation, yet our local league is poorly organized. We must do something about it. We have talked and we keep talking until we get it right. All right, because the performance of our leagues, of our clubs, whenever we go for continental engagement, is a clear reflection of how poorly our league is organized. We talk about infrastructures, we talk about the technological equipment, we talk about organizational structure. These are issues too many, numerous to mention. But then, who say that we cannot, correct some of these lapses? We can, if we're intentional and deliberate about changing the face and the tide in our local league, so that at least we can be up there in Africa. When you talk about the best league in the continent of Africa, Nigeria should be there in first, second, third, at most fourth position. Rivers United, Jerry, also went away from home. They lost to Red Bulls, Black Bull rather. But then, it's more like call it a very good result for them, though it was 1-0 defeat. But then, with that, coming back home in the second leg at the Gospel Akpabio International Stadium, you think Rivers United can overturn the 1-goal deficit?
I don't want to say it's a good result because we actually lost.
Okay.
I don't want to say it's a good result. We lost that game 1-0, and if it was a cup decider, that meant we are not champions at the end of the day. But looking at the goal difference, that's one of the things that we're going to leverage on. Just a goal difference, and coming back to our home turf, I will want to really make amends by putting 2, 3, 4, 5, if possible, past Black Bulls, if I'm not mistaken. At this point in time, we did not play really good football. I saw that highlight, and we managed to just have conceded just a goal. It could have been 2 or 3, and then the pressure stems to pile up, just like what Remo Stars has under the belt right now. A lot of pressure piling up because unlikely they would advance. But at this point in time, yes, 1-goal deficit, and they can actually make sure that when they come to the Gospel Akpabio Stadium, they can actually put 2, 3, 4 past their opponent if we possibly do well. But one thing I want to let you understand is that our opponent will actually come to our home and advocate for a draw so that they can actually get to qualify to the next round. So anything we do, we should try and make sure that in the first half, we should as well have at least 2 goals in the first half. Come into the second half, look for more goals, and we advance to the next stage. But it was an awful display by Rivers United. We should have gone past that one very easily in the first leg.
All right, we'll see how Rivers United can be able to, turn the tide around when the second leg come calling back here in Uyo. We believe with 2 goals or 3 goals to 1 margin, they will be through to the next round. But then it's all about determination. We'll see how this one will pan out with Finidi George and his boys out there. All right, let's head straight to the under-17 because the under-17 Women World Cup, the Flamingos lost the firepower of Canada, Jerry, 4 goals to 1. It was such a disastrous beginning from them. And the coach of the side, Bankole Oluwokere, spoke shortly after that game. He has actually ruled the chances missed by the Flamingos. The Flamingos, in their first game, there was this high expectation, that they might possibly get all 3 points against Canada because they had a very impressive preparation ahead of that game. But it did not pan out to be that way as they lost 4 goals to 1. that is not the worry here. The worry here is that their next opponent is against France, another strong side.
Yeah.
Can they go past France?
It's going to be a difficult one because we were expected to even go past Canada. But unfortunately, we fell short, 4 goals short. We were expected to go past Canada. Much respect to Canadian team, but when you look at France and Canada, which is more likely to be beaten by Nigeria under 17, Flamingos. So at this point in time, it's really a full display. Leading up until this championship where we actually scored a lot of goals and conceded less. High preparation, top gear. So it could have translated into us winning that, yes, we actually got the result in the pre-game. And now, into the tournament proper, we are actually ready for it in order to douse any opponent. But at this point in time, in the first game, you know, one very good thing is that if you lose your first game in a competition, you need extra momentum. Extra. We saw that happen when Argentina lifted the World Cup in 2022. I think they lost to Saudi Arabia, 2-1. You need extra momentum in order to ferry you into the next game, the next one, and into knockout stages. So at this point in time, if we had the momentum of just 50% alone, we need an extra 50%. Looking at the opponent we'll face, talking about France, this is not a pushover team. This is a very, very formidable team when it has to do with world football at all levels. At all levels. So come on, if we did not win Canada, are we looking at winning France? Just like I said earlier, the round leather game is full of expectations, it's full of shockers. Anything can just happen.
Poor start from the Flamingos as they lost 4-1 against Canada. Their next match is against France, and of course the last game will be against Samoa. They must win that game against France or possibly a draw, and win convincingly against Samoa to stand a chance of progressing through to the knockout stage. Let's talk about the under-20. Jerry, the Moroccan under-20 side, they shocked the world as they humbled the powerhouse Argentina 2-0 to win this year's edition of the under-20 World Cup. And Morocco, their resurgence in football and in sport generally is something that we need to commend, isn't it?
The Moroccan national team is full of expectations, and the expectations are leading them to high altitudes and positive ways. If you ask me about 4 years back, I did not see Morocco becoming this powerhouse when it has to do with football. I did not see them. I only saw them as a team that will be able to participate in a tournament, perhaps crash out round of 16 and go home. But getting to the World Cup semi-final, I think this is the first time an African team has gotten to this stage. And not just getting, we actually defeated powerhouses when it has to do with football. The likes of Portugal and the likes of Spain. Come on. More grease to the elbows of Morocco. Now they are crowned champions of the under-20 World Cup, defeating 6-time champion Argentina. Not just a lone goal, but 2-0. Argentina were unable to even score a goal in the final. Come on. We should as well applaud this Moroccan team. The last time an African team won it was in 2009 when Ghana won it against Brazil. Now, an African team, being the first Arab team, is winning it in Chile. Come on. Moroccan football is really improving. It's really, really improving. This is the type of improvement we want to see in Nigeria, in our league, in our national team, and across all levels. Morocco is now leading the baton, taking the bull by the horn when it has to do with African football. Cutting across the levels in football under 17, under 20, under 23, and to the national team. So, what can we say again? This team has actually made Africa proud. It has actually sent shockwaves to European nations, to South American and North American nations that yes, there is a team in Africa that can beat all of us. If you can beat Spain, if you can beat Portugal, in not just a friendly game, but in a World Cup, in a World Cup competition. Come on, it's really sends shivers down the spine of every football lover. So Morocco has actually been able to carve a niche for themselves between the past 4 years when it has to do with football, and they have been able to go past when it has to do with domestic league. They have been able to improve in their domestic league. So kudos to them, and we want to see them in the next World Cup performing wonders. If not possibly eventual champions, we want to see that happen, and surely it can happen.
Big kudos to the Moroccan under-20 national team who have won this year's edition of the under-20 World Cup. I tell you, it was an impressive outing for the Moroccan under-20. They were able to tame down some big-name teams, countries, footballing nations before they headed to the final against another yet a stronger position in Argentina. But then they emerged victorious. 2 unreplied goal, convincing win for the Moroccan under-20 team. I would say very big congratulations for bringing honor and glory to the continent of Africa. All right, still talking about African football, we can also tell that the Super Falcons camp is gradually beginning to come alive, as we have seen some early bird arrivals. The likes of Asisa Toshola, Jami Lucy and co have hit camp ahead of the African Cup of Nations qualifier against Benin Republic that comes up on Thursday this week. Jerry, the Super Falcons will be in action against the Benin Republic side for the 2026 WAFCON qualifiers. The senior men's side, the Super Eagles, we defeated Benin Republic 4 goals to nothing in the World Cup, and stopped them from, having any chance of going to the playoff or qualifying for the, do you think that the Beninois side, their female side, want to take a revenge at home against the Super Falcons, the 10-time winner?
If reverse was the case, I would say yes. If reverse was the case. Imagine if Benin actually beat us 4-0, and we're now having this reverse fixture in the women. I'll actually say yes, we should actually go all out to defeat them. The Beninois side will actually come all out to play Nigeria when it has to do with the WAFCON 2026 competition. Yes, we are having a fixture against them, and that scar is still embedded in the minds and on the faces of all Beninois, including the Beninese citizens, including Beninese. So when you ask me, I would actually say that we put up a fine show, the Super Eagles, and we're able to go into the playoff. Now we have the Super Falcons coming up against them in a decider match too. So it spells a lot. It sends shiver down the spines of every football lover, saying that, yes, you see these people you defeated, definitely they're coming back to get a revenge against you in any football career, in any football level. So if the Beninois side happens to get a win, they can actually salvage the situation to a larger sense. Yes, you defeated our guys, but we defeated your girls, and we're in the tournament. But at this point in time, we can not say, because the Nigerian the female team is actually all out to make sure that they get into the 2026 WAFCON. And they are not backing out. They're not giving any cool shoulder to anybody. They make sure that they face every duty squarely. They face every game. You see how they're reported to camp. That shows seriousness. So beginning from this stage, you can actually start counting their wins.
All right, the Super Falcons are preparing massively as players have started hitting camps ahead of their showdown against the Beninois side in the African Cup of Nations Cup qualifier come next year. Don't forget that the Super Falcons are, all-time record, holder. They are the current defending champion in that very one. So this yet another opportunity for the girls. Yes, to of course, hit camp once again after the triumph in Morocco, where they lifted the 10th WAFCON title. Time for them to aggregate once more as they prepare to lock horns against the Benin side on Thursday. All right, at this point, let's take a quick break. When we are back, we dive straight to Europe and bring you some of the latest results in the weekend games across the Europe top 5 leagues. Don't go anywhere. Alright, you're welcome back from that short break. Let's bring you the result of some English Premier League football games that went down over the weekend as Tottenham lost to Aston Villa 2-1. Liverpool were beaten at home by Manchester United 2-1. In that very one yesterday on Saturday, we saw Nottingham Forest lost at home to Chelsea 3-0. Brighton and Hove Albion beat Newcastle United 2-1, while Burnley saw off Leeds United 2-0. Crystal Palace played a 3-3 draw against Bournemouth, while Manchester City beat Everton 2-0. Sunderland got a better of Wolverhampton Wanderers 2-0. It ended, while Fulham lost narrowly to Arsenal 1-0. Jerry, Arsenal gradually they've climbed to the top of the league table. How long do you see them staying there? Or probably you think this is the season for Arsenal to win the English Premier League?
Same old question you asked. This is the season. Is this the season?
Yeah.
That's a very big question. A very, very big question, because if we saw an informed City team or an informed Liverpool or Chelsea side, I mentioned these three sides, City, Liverpool or Chelsea side at the top of the table, you can actually say they can stay at the top of the table for a long time. But seeing Arsenal at the top of we have seen Arsenal at the top of the table for 3 consecutive seasons. In fact, there was a season that they stayed at the top of the table for months, about 9 months or 8 to 9 months or so, and they were not champions. So is it being on the top of the table for just a week or more or a month? Let's look at it. Do they have the squad depth? Yes, you might have said they bought players, they recruited players. But can they deliver when it matters most? That's one thing we used to judge big teams, the City, the Liverpool, the Chelsea, when it matters most. Because when it all boils down, I remember 2 seasons ago, when City were crowned champions, there was a game City were to win, and that was against Tottenham. They were to win that game. If they win that game, then they are champions. Come on, City would not fall short of expectation. They actually won that game. I can't remember the match. It took 2-0 or something. But I knew they got 3 points at the end of the day. And as soon as the game was over, they had 1 game to spare, but they were celebrating because they were eventual champions. So come to look at it. Are we saying Arsenal can be at the top of the table and actually be crowned champions at the end of the 25-26 season? That's a very, very big question. Because we certainly have a City. This City we're seeing is not even in form. It's not on a scale of over 10. Our grade City 6. They have not started firing from all cylinders that we can say, yes, they are 9 or 10 over 10. So when you look at it, can Arsenal retain their position through the end of the season and be crowned champions? That's unlikely to happen.
Unlikely to happen for Arsenal. Jerry is not that confident enough that Arsenal can, of course, get a job done this season. We'll wait and see. Still talking about Manchester City, it looks as though they are gradually rediscovering their former glory. 2-0 they won, and now City second on the log, just 3 points adrift of Arsenal. Do you see them gradually crawling to the top and possibly bounce back to winning ways again?
Man City have actually gotten the winning ways. Let me just give you an analogy right now. What's happening in City? City have been able to win games struggling. You know when you win games and you're struggling? That's what's happening to City right now. Because the team, everyone in the team has not fully adapted. Unless of Ryan Cherki, Tijani Reinders, Nico Gonzalez, coming in for the injured Rodri. Rodri will be missing the game against Villarreal. So, due to injury. Foden is not back in form as we know Foden. So the only guys outside the back four of Ruben Diaz and Joshko Vardiol having a certain newly recruited player who is still trying to adapt. He's injured, Nuri. At this point in time, the only informed players that I can say that 10 over 10 is Erling Haaland first, 11 goals in 8 games, and Jeremy Doku. I'm not saying others are not performing well. They are, but they have not blended into the team. So what City is doing, they are struggling to win games. They are struggling to score goals. What is the savior of Manchester City right now is an informed Erling Braut Haaland. That is the savior of Manchester City. Because a certain Tijani Reinders cannot fill in the shoes of Kevin De Bruyne adequately or appropriately, as the case may be. We have a certain Ryan Cherki who is still trying to adapt. Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden. City lost a skipper in the person of Ike Gundogan to Galatasaray. So huge vacuum. So right now, what is holding City is the informed Norwegian striker. They are struggling to win games. They score a goal or two. Outside the first match they won that they put 4 past Wolverhampton in the Molineux, they have not even come close. Okay, they did 3 against Manchester United. But in other games, the game I expected them to win against Monaco, it was a 2-2 draw. So they are struggling to win games. But when they get firing from all cylinders, come on, I think they will shake off the Gunners off the first position.
All right, we'll see how this one pans out, but we can tell you that Joseph Salah, Pep Guardiola, men are beginning to get their act right because they are gradually trying to rediscover their magical touch as they are points over the weekend in the English Premier League. Jerry, is about Liverpool. Their downfall is beginning to get some persons worried. 3 straight losses right now for Ancelot's side. Another defeat they suffered, especially at the Anfield yesterday against Manchester United side. They have been blowing hot and cool this season. What is the problem with this Liverpool Ancelot of this season? 3 straight losses so far.
Well, all of these things does happen. It does happen after carrying the league. It does happen even before carrying the league. It does happen years after carrying. So it's not, this is not the first time, neither will it be the last time it's happening to a manager. But for me, I'll tie it to some recruited players in the Liverpool squad. Liverpool have recruited players of no impact. No impact. I'll mention a certain Florian Wirtz. I'll mention a certain Alexander Isak. These are players with no impact. I wonder why Ancelot will playing Kekes, who is yet to adapt, to Robertson. No brainer. Kekes, no impact. We saw what Kekes did in Bournemouth. Fantastic football from the left back. Coming into this Liverpool side, no impact at all. These 3 players, Alexander Isak, Florian Wirtz, and Milos Kekes, no impact at all. The only players we have managed to see little impact is Hugo Ekitike, scoring back-to-back games. To an extent, Jeremy Frimpong, to an extent. So, at this point in time, you have recruited players. And now, the results are not coming. There is a big error you've made somewhere when it has to do with recruiting players to fit a system. I said Liverpool will suffer this, Liverpool and Salah will suffer this season. Because now, at this point in time, let me deal with Liverpool, because the team first. They lost Luis Diaz to Bayern Munich. That guy is a firepower. Look at what he did in their last game against Borussia Dortmund. Fantastic football. So you can actually say that they have lost an engine room. Now we'll go over to Mohamed Salah. Very good goal scorer, very good winger. The philosophy Liverpool tends to play this season is quite different from what they played last season. Liverpool is a team that goes through the wings. That's why they had Luis Diaz and Mohamed Salah going through the wings. They cut and they shoot. They cut and they shoot. They are not used to this top striker thing. Cisse and Fernando Torres. But coming into this dispensation, I think that was after Brendan Rodgers left. He brought Balotelli left. Who is not a fantastic ball player, but is a fantastic goal scorer. And you aren't going to tell me that Mohamed Salah will have the ball 10 times and will give Isak 6 times. That would not happen. If Mohamed Salah has the ball 10 times, at the best he will give Isak is twice. 8, you will go for the goal.
Let's talk about Mo Salah. Jimmy Carragher, one of Liverpool legends, he has come out to suggest that Mohamed Salah should not be given a direct starting bet again. He should be coming from the bench. Do you see that advice as needful? Because it looks as though the man is aging. Has been very consistent in the last 5 years in the English Premier. He has broken record, and of course, one of the best English Premier League player as we speak. But it looks as though Mohamed Salah is gradually losing his touch. Do you go with Jimmy Carragher that he should not be given 90 minutes on the clock again?
Yes, I go with Jimmy Carragher 100%. I was even saying at the end of this 25-26 season, Mohamed Salah should go to Saudi Arabia because he's gradually fading out when he has to do with the English Premier League. Last season was his best, one of his best season, and he performed creditably well.
Should he have left when the ovation was high?
He should have left when the ovation was high. Now we're looking at Carragher telling him to telling Slot or suggesting to the Liverpool board to as well keep him on the bench. And you and I know that Mohamed Salah is a threat, no doubt. If he's in the game, irrespective of the fact that no impact, but he's a threat. But at this point in time, should he be a starter in Liverpool? I don't agree with that at all. Because this Mohamed Salah of a person asks for the ball. He doesn't go look for the ball. He asks for the ball. You look at the likes of Alexis McAllister, Ryan Gravenberch, Zoboslai. These are the people who are out there hustling and marking for the ball. And when they give it to this guy, most of the time he doesn't convert the chances. So his impact is minimal. At this point in time, he is aging. What he could do 5 years ago, he cannot perform them creditably well now. So he should be relegated to the bench. The other players, you can give them the starting lineup. They will also perform. There's a certain Ngumoha that gave them that gave them a certain win in one of their last fixtures. They can introduce him into the fray, can come and change things. You know, we're not going to stick to one philosophy forever. Mohamed Salah should as well leave at the end of the season to Saudi Arabia.
Mo Salah should leave at the end of the season to Saudi Arabia. Let's head straight to the La Liga and bring you some results because Elche played zeros against the Atletico Bilbao. Celta Vigo 1, Real Sociedad 1, Levante 0, Rayo Vallecano 3, Getafe 0, Real Madrid 1. On Saturday we saw Sevilla lost at home to Real Mallorca 3-1, Barca 2, Girona 1. Villarreal played 2-2 against Real Betis, Atletico Madrid 1, Osasuna 0. And on Friday, Rio Oviedo were beaten at home by Espanyol 2-0. The La Liga is getting interesting.
Yeah, shaping up.
Madrid currently at the top with 24 points, closely followed by the Catalan-based Giants, talking about Barca with 22 points. If you take a look at the way the La Liga is going this season, just 2 points separating. Barca was topping before they now drop, and Madrid now takes over the driver's seat. Kylian Mbappe has been outstanding so far since the start of this season. With what you are seeing under Xavi Alonso, the new coach of Madrid, do you think he's going to go all the way to win the La Liga title this season? Or is it too early call to make right now?
It's pretty much early call to make. Pretty much early call because this Real Madrid team is being carried on the shoulders of one person. Imagine Real Madrid did not have a certain Kylian Mbappe this season. You're not going to see the finesse in football again, or in the Real Madrid team, because as we speak, Vinicius Junior is not at his peak anymore. He's not performing, he's not in form. Just like 2 seasons ago. We have a certain Rodrigo. I felt he should have gone to Manchester City, if you ask me. So at this point in time, their saving grace is the fact that they have a certain Kylian Mbappe. And the Turkish international, I'm trying to recall his name. So at this point in time... Adagula, yeah. At this point in time, Kylian Mbappe is firing from all cylinders. In every game he must score. In every game he must score. So when you look at it, you say, oh, come on, they're getting the 3 points. But it's just too early to say that. They will be crowned champions at the end of the 25-26 season. It's just too early to say.
All right, let's head straight to the Italian Serie A and bring you some results as Fabregas Como defeated Juventus. The old ladies 2-0, Cagliari 0, Bologna 2, Girona 0, Parma 0, Atlanta 0, Lazio 0, AC Milan 2, Fiorentina 1. On Saturday, we saw Lecce play the zeros against Sassuolo, Pisa 0, Verona 0, Torino 1, and Napoli 0. While Roma also lost at home to Inter Milan 1-0. To the Bundesliga we move because some results came through as well as a Freiburg couldn't fry Eintracht Frankfurt as the game ended in 2-2 draw in that particular one over the weekend. Meanwhile, Bremen also played against Cologne in that particular one. Mainz 3, Bayer Leverkusen 4, RB Leipzig 2, Hamburg 1, Wolfsburg 0, Stuttgart 3. Bayern Munich in a match of the weekend beat Borussia Dortmund 2-1, while on Friday we saw Union Berlin beat Mönchengladbach 3-1 in that particular one. And in the French League 1, Lens, yes, they beat Moïse Simon's FC Paris 2-1. Lorient played 3-3 against Brest. Rennes 2, Auxerre 2. Toulouse were hoping not to lose, and indeed Toulouse did not lose because they defeated Metz 4-0. Nantes 0, Lille 2. Nice 3, Lyon 2. Angers were so angry, but then they couldn't use their anger to take all 3 points as they were held at home by AS Monaco. 1-1 it ended. Marseille whitewashed Le Havre 6-2, while on Friday we saw Paris Saint-Germain being held at home by Strasbourg 3-3 it ended. So the result that might shock you is that the Paris Saint-Germain game against Strasbourg. But then take a look at the Strasbourg so far this season. They've been very good as well. They are not doing badly.
Not doing badly at all. Being able to put up a fine show, 3-0 goal thriller, 6-goal thriller against champions of the French Ligue 1 and also champions of Europe. It's actually a very big show for Strasbourg. You know, I saw that game, and Strasbourg were leading by 3-1, 3-1, and I was saying this is over for PSG, but that's why they are champions. They were able to find themselves back on level terms and actually be able to earn a point. So Strasbourg is not doing badly at all, but I just wish that they are not some certain teams in England. I don't want to mention their name. They wear white, AIE. You know this is what I'm talking about. They steal from the rich and they give to the poor. That's what they do. So I hope Strasbourg is not doing such, where they steal from the rich. And when they go and play teams like Toulouse, you not see them win against Toulouse. Metz, you not see them, you not see them lose against Toulouse, lose against Metz. But bigger teams like Marseille and PSG, they grab a win as well, get a point. So to an extent, they have actually been able to perform creditably well from the start of the season. And kudos to them. It was a very, very thrilling encounter with the two French-based teams. So really, really big one for them. It will stick in their minds for a long time. And also even through the end of the season, saying that at least we're able to hold champions of Europe and champions of the league to a 3-3 draw. So very good for them. And also, to an extent, they tested the patience of PSG, and it actually paid off. That's why PSG are champions.
That's why PSG are champions. Meanwhile, Jerry, I can tell you that, you know, a few hours ago, there is talk from Nottingham Forest to appoint Sean Dyche, as their new head coach to replace the outgone Ange Postecoglou that was sacked after that 3-0 defeat in the hands of Chelsea. Sean Dyche, is he the man? Can he be able to, you know, bring back Nottingham Forest to that shape we saw them under Nuno Espirito Santo, where they were able to fight for, you know,
European sports,
Champions League spot, but then at the dying minute of the last season, they had to
fizzled out.
Sean Dyche, taking a look at him, is he the coach that can be able to mold back this Nottingham Forest?
When you look at Sean Dyche, I actually knew Sean Dyche from his Burnley days. And he did well with Burnley, I would say. He did well with Burnley, I would say. Coming to Everton, the Hugh Dickinson Stadium, now Hugh Dickinson Stadium, no more the former name again. I looked at it, I said, can it function in this thing? Because just like I used to say on about football, about the round leather game, is that there are coaches that are built for small teams, and there are coaches that are built for big teams. Coaches that are built for small teams, number one, Unai Emery is not built to coach PSG. Unai Emery is built to coach Sevilla, Aston Villa. He's not built to coach Arsenal. So I can liken Sondage to coaching Forest and getting very good results more than Ange. But we're not going to see that spectacular performance, just like we saw Nuno Espirito do with them after being appointed when Steve Cooper was sacked. So you can see that if you can remember Steve Cooper era, I think a little bit improvement to what Sondage will bring.
All right.
So, but this is football. Anything can happen.
It's football. Let's see what Sondage can bring if he eventually get the nod to lead Nottingham Forest as their new coach after the sacking of Ange Postecoglou over the weekend. But before we bounce out of the building this evening, let's tell you that our sport extraordinaire is Alex Iwobi, because he made a history on Saturday by becoming the Nigerian with the most appearances in the English Premier League with 299 games thus far. So he is our sport extraordinaire for this evening edition of Sport Extra on Atlantic Television Network. I did a show this evening alongside Jerry Daniel,
Daniels,
rather. Yeah. My name is Emmanuel Michael, the Prime Minister of the Airways, and we are saying I'll see you tomorrow morning as we make a return for Sports Talk. Keep it locked here on Atlantic Television Network. More programs will come your way. You can also go to our different social media handles, and of course, follow us. Of course, we'll follow you back as well. Thanks for watching.